My mom was 40 when she finally popped out my brother Mason. Because she was obsessed with some pseudoscience bullshit about caloric restriction leading to immortality, she only ate 1 meal a day during her pregnancy. The result? She was malnourished as hell. Mason was premature. He weighed 4 pounds soaking wet when he slid out. The doctors pleaded with her to put Mason in the NICU, let the nurses handle him, and pump him full of preemie formula. Mom wasn't having it. She snapped, "My son needs to be like me. He needs to maintain a sense of hunger. That's the verifiable secret to living forever." She didn't give a damn what the medical professionals said. She insisted on breastfeeding him herself, which was a joke since she was starving herself. Terrified the kid was going to croak, the doctor tracked down my dad. Dad spent a whole day screaming at Mom until Mason was finally shoved into an incubator. Watching my brother's tiny stick-like limbs twitching under that blue UV light, I felt absolutely nothing. 2 weeks later, Mason was out. Mom snatched him from the nurse like she was reclaiming a stolen purse and discharged him immediately. Back home, Mom started her starvation therapy. She fed Mason once a day. That's it. Mason couldn't handle it. The kid screamed his lungs out from hunger, sometimes crying until he literally passed out from exhaustion. Dad had already bolted back to the oil rigs in North Dakota. He wouldn't be back for 6 months. He knew Mom was batshit crazy, so he hired a night nurse to watch the kid. But the second Dad's truck turned the corner, Mom fired the nurse. Some nights, I'd wake up to Mason wailing and Mom whispering her insane mantra in the dark. "Shh, Mason, we don't eat. That's how we make it to 100 years old." Mason was a few months old. He didn't understand longevity. He just knew his stomach was eating itself. Listening to his cries, I put in my earplugs, kept my face stone cold, and went back to sleep. Because I've done this already. I was reincarnated. In my last life, Mom starved him just like this. Mason used to come to me with tears in his eyes, begging, "Harper, please, my tummy hurts." I was weak. My heart broke for him. I used to sneak him snacks constantly. Later, when he got sick, he blamed me. He said I ruined his longevity. When my asthma flared up, he hid my inhaler and watched me suffocate. This time, I'm not messing with his destiny. Thanks to Mom's starvation regime, by the time Mason was 1, he weighed 16 pounds. He looked like a shriveled alien compared to the other toddlers. The suburban moms in our gated community would gather at the park to humble brag about their kids. My mom would puff out her chest and say, "My Mason is such an angel. He never cries, never fusses. He just eats his 1 meal and sleeps." The other moms looked at her with envy, praising her for birthing such a chill baby. Only I knew the truth. Mason didn't cry because he learned early on that screaming didn't produce milk, so he saved his energy. He slept all day because his body was literally shutting down to conserve calories. Dad tried to argue with Mom at first during his brief visits, but seeing that the kid wasn't dead yet, he stopped caring. I was attending college locally. Every time I came home, Mom would nag me to join her starvation cult. Sick of her voice, I moved into the dorms and stayed there. I worked double shifts during breaks just to avoid that house. 3 years later, it was time for Mason to start preschool. He was stunted. Short, slow, lethargic. The school realized he couldn't keep up and suggested putting him in the toddler room. He fit right in with the 2-year-olds. You couldn't even tell the difference. Mom told the teacher strictly, "Mason only requires 1 meal a day." The teacher thought she was joking or that Mason just had a small appetite. Being a decent human being, the teacher fed all the kids breakfast and lunch. She was shocked to see Mason attack the food like a feral animal, licking the plate clean every time. First week of school, the teacher posted a video in the parent group chat of Mason eating, captioning it, "Mason is such a good eater." Mom saw that notification and went nuclear. She didn't even change out of her house slippers. She drove straight to the principal's office. When the teacher tried to explain basic biology, Mom started shrieking about how they were poisoning him with calories. She demanded the teacher be fired. The principal, realizing Mom was unhinged, refused to fire the teacher and instead suggested Mason find another school.